Okay, so here we go. So today, obviously, is November 1st. I'm gonna continue the objective for today, and you can open it with me, guys. This that I just opened, you can open it with me. Thank you. Again, in case we're not listening, we are in the end of the 6 weeks. This is the last week of the 6 weeks. I put your Jamboard there in case you need to use it for some of the problems here. But if you open this guy, we're still gonna continue. I started this on Thursday, which is how to solve problems that involve rates and ratios. Remember that I did that with proportions, right? I said, you know what? We're gonna be working with proportional situations, so that's still the objective for this week. But at the same time, I'm also gonna start reviewing for the test. So I'm doing two things here today. So by the time you know, you're gonna know how to use rates and ratios through by creating a proportional situation. In case you forgot, I'm gonna review right now, and I'm recording this also. So how are rates and ratios similar or different? That's the main thing that by the time we're done, we hope we know how to answer. Okay. So again, go ahead and write your name there. You should have opened this form already, so later we can already start it. Your ID number, whatever it is, and this is third period. Next. You do have a YouTube video here that involves rates and ratios, so that's part of your homework today. Go watch it, pause it, look at it, and learn from it, right? So there's a YouTube video there. I'm also gonna put this video up on the YouTube channel that we have. So go watch that for review purposes, okay? You don't wanna mess up the 6 week test. So here's the first question, okay? This is called a drop-down menu item, and in the new start, they make you do this. You see where there's a blank? When you click on that blank, in the real start, not in this one, a drop-down menu is gonna come out, you're gonna be able to select whatever you wanna fill up there, to fill up the sentence, right? Then there's another blank, you're gonna click on that drop-down menu blank there, and another thing's gonna come out. Mine is also a drop-down menu, but I put the two things that you're gonna fill up in there. Okay, but right now I want to explain that. Let me first read the prompt. It says the list shows the number of ants each spring for 5 consecutive springs. 6, 30, 150, 750, and 3,750. Okay? The number of ants blank by a factor of blank each spring. Select the answers from the drop-down boxes that make the statement true. Again, you'll have two drop-down boxes here in the spaces. I just have one. Okay, because it's a Google form. But in your test on Wednesday, you will have two of them. Now, let me go ahead and get my journal out, which is your notes journal, okay? We are on page 15. So, on page 15, and I'm gonna start going over the first question. So it's page 15. And this is the second 6 weeks review. So we're gonna do some together, some you're gonna have for homework. Not a lot of homework today, but a lot. So number one mentions that, I'll flip the screen so you can see what it's mentioning. So number one mentions that there was 6 first, and then it went to 30, and then it went to 150, then it went to 750, then it went to 3,750. So the first spring there was only 6 little ants, then it went to 30, then to 150. So okay, so obviously I can see that this is increasing, right? But if I read this, it says the number of ants blind by a factor of. So I notice that there's this word factor. Who remembers what a factor is from elementary? And I also talked about it. I talked about it here too. When we're simplifying, I talked about factors. So when you think of factors, you think of what? What operation do you think when you think of factors? Huh? Very good. When I think of factors, I should be thinking of multiplication. Because a factor times a factor gives you a product, right? So just with that, I already know that they want me to figure out the pattern by multiplying. They already told me the word factor, so I know that from here to here, the change was times what? 5. So from here to here, is it still times 5? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah, 30 times 5 would be 150. So from here to here, it should still be times what?
5.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the side because those are bigger numbers, and I'm going to check. Now, you're a calculator kid. I write it down, put out the calculator, and just punch it in. 150 times 5, and check if it's true. If you're not a calculator kid, well, we have to calculate ourselves. What's 5 times 0? 5 times 5? 25. That's 5, 6, 7, 750. Yep, it does match. So, yep, I think I found the factor that they're increasing by is times 5. Might as well check that one. This time I'm just going to use the calculator so I can show the calculator kids. 750 times 5. Yep, it matches 3750. So I know that the factor is by 5. So that's for sure. Now, I'm going to click on my drop-down menu. Did it decrease?
No.
Did it increase?
Yes.
By a factor of 24?
No.
Did it increase by a factor of 5?
Yes.
That's the answer. Now, on the test for Wednesday, you will have two drop-down menus. You'll have one here with a word increase, decrease, stay the same or something. And then you'll have another drop-down menu here with the number, of course, 5 or other numbers. But if we want a 5 in this case. Questions?
No.
Am I gonna have a question like this?
Yes.
Yes, you are. If not, I will not be wasting my time showing you something like this. Okay? So you'll have something like this. Now you know that what quickly told me that it's a pattern, but you can see that there was a pattern that it's increasing. But this word told me how it's increasing. Okay, it's being multiplied by something over and over again, which the word factor tells me. Okay? Any questions? So my answer was that it is increasing. That's what I would put in the first drop down. That's what I would put here. In the first drop down, let me put that one right, sorry. In my first answer, it would be that it's increasing. My second answer would be what? It's increasing by what? By a factor of what? 5. So this will be the next drop down. Okay? So you have two drop downs. One that you're not looking at the word increased, and the other one you're looking at number 5 in this particular question. Now, when you take the test, you have to figure out what's going on, and then take care of business. Question with number 1.
Nope.
Okay. Now for your 4, yeah, you just chose that one. That's it. You're done with that one. Number 2, another drop down, right? Yes. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, but first I take care of the math. But let me take care of the math. Number 2. It says a train travels blank in blank. This rate is equivalent to the boat traveling 60 miles per hour. Select the answer from the drop-down boxes and make the statement true. Okay, so I see the word rate. Okay, let me flip this again. I see the word rate. So as soon as I saw the word rate, I can think of ratios. Yes, right? And my strategy that I talked about this on Thursday last week was to create a proportion. Two ratios, two ratios that are equal. Remember that I told you that last week? This is called a proportional situation. If you're here on Thursday, yes. If you're absent, well, maybe you forgot. Okay? And in case you're wondering, like, no, sir, you never told us that. So let me remind you. On your book from page 65, we talked about ratios, okay? And then we did some problems that we created a proportion to figure out what was going on, okay? In case you forgot. But now, so before I do my ratios, I need to get my label. So I know it's 16 miles per hour, so I know that we have miles and hours. Remember I told you you have to label?
Yeah.
So the 16 will go on the top or on the bottom? Where would I put the top? Why? Because I put miles, and the 16 is miles. So that's the reason it goes on the top. Now, who will go on the bottom? It says per hour.
Hour.
Yeah, I already know hours, but what number would I put in the thing?
One.
Very good.
One.
Guys, per hour means per one. Per minute, 1 minute. Per student, 1 student. Per desk, 1 desk. Per class, 1 class. You get it? Per kilometer, 1 kilometer. Anytime that I see the word per, it means per one. Especially if the other word is singular. It says per hour, 1 hour. So guess who was on the bottom? 1. There, I found my ratio. Where did I get the first ratio? Was from the story. Very simple. I got the ratio from the story. That's the rate. This train is traveling 16 miles every hour. Okay? Now, where do I get the other ratios? You can multiply, good, but where would I get them faster? Like, no, but where would I get the other two ratios? The other ratios, sorry. From the choices, guys.
I was thinking about it. I wasn't sure.
I mean, from the choices. So choice 1 says 60 miles in 5 hours, right? This is choice, first choice. 60 miles, 5 hours. So let's put that. Where would I put the 60, guys? Top or bottom?
Top.
And you know why? Because the mouse was on the top, so the mouse stay on the top. Where would I put the 5? Bottom. You know why? Because the hours are in the bottom, so the hours stay on the bottom. Questions? Now I created two ratios that are equal. To see if it's true, I'm going to check by doing cross products. What's 1 times 60? Do you remember this from Thursday or no? 5 times 16. Well, that one, I cannot do it mentally. So I'm going to go to the side. 16 times 5. 80.
It's not equal.
So this is not proportional. They're not equivalent. They're not proportional. So you know what? Letter A cannot be the answer. Okay? The train could not have traveled 60 miles in 5 hours. It's impossible because he was traveling for every mile. For every 60 miles, he was taking 1 hour. So how can you say that he traveled 60 in 5? That's not true. Okay? So guess what? I write my ratio again. 16 to what? And let's label. Who's the 16?
Miles.
And the 1?
Hours.
This is so important, so like then I know where to put the other two numbers, the other ratio. So let me go to my choices. The next ratio is 80 to what?
Five.
5. So let me put that. 80 is the miles and 5 is the hours. What's 1 times 80?
80.
5 times 6. Didn't we do already 5 times 16?
Yes, it's 80 again.
Guess what? These are proportional, so this one is possible. The train could have taken 5 hours to travel the 80 miles. Okay? Now, you can prove this in many ways. This is using a proportional situation to figure out if it's true. But I could have done a proportional table. You don't have to copy this. I'm just trying to show you that I could prove if it's true. So let me first align this. In the morning I have trouble with the camera, so I have to like reset the whole thing, and now I have to do this again.
That looks fun.
You know what this is?
What?
You're aligning the camera with the pen.
Oh.
So that when I write, you'll know where to write. Okay? Anyway, so here you go. You could have done this, don't copy it from there. I could do a table, okay, and call this miles, and this one hours. Or the other way around, doesn't matter. In 1 hour, how much did I travel? 60. So 2 hours, double that would be 32. 3 hours, triple the original, that would be what? 48. 4 hours, times 4 now, it would be 64. 5 hours, times 5 would be 8. All these would work. That's the train, because the train is traveling 60 miles per hour. So for 2 hours, you'll do double. For 3 hours, you'll do triple. For 4 hours, you'll quadruple. 5 hours, and so on. So I could do a table too. Okay? But I think if you see the choices, cross product is probably faster. Okay? Questions? Okay. The next one is, because a good student will stop there, the good scholar will not settle. He'll make sure that the other choice is bad too, because what if you made a mistake accidentally? So the next choice is 80 and 64, right? So I'm gonna do another ratio, 60 to 1. And some kids will say, hi, Chef, why? That's too much work. Hey, you want 100? You go on. You don't want 100? You say, you risk it and say, yeah, it's probably that one. What was the ratio for that? 80 to 64, right? So 80 to 64. What's 1 times 80? 80, right? 64 times 16. Do you think, without even multiplying, guys, do you think that if I multiply 64 times 16, I'm going to get 80? There's no way. Plus, didn't you just say that 16 times 5 was 80? How can you say that now that 16 times 64 would be 80? It'll be way too big, right? I don't have to even waste my time multiplying. I'm just gonna go ahead and say wrong. But if you wanna multiply it, we can use the calculator in this case quickly.
It's
16 times 64, 1,024.
So you can just divide in the numbers. Como 80, 80 divided by 5 is 16.
Yes. Yeah, you can do that too. Very good, Miha. Yeah. So this is way off. It's not the answer. One more choice I think I have. The last one is 16 to 8. Same thing. I'm going to go ahead and create my proportion. 16 to 1. And it was what?
60 to 8.
60 to 8. What's 1 times 60?
60.
60. 8 times 16. Because I don't know. I'm going to have to go to the side. 16 times 8. That would be 48. 128. Did they match? No. So what's the answer?
80.
80 to 5, which is the second one. So I can go to my drop down boxes and choose 80 to 5. Remember, in the real test, when you click on this empty space, you're gonna get choices with a mouse. 80 miles, 30 miles, whatever it is. And then when you click, you're gonna get choices with the arrows. They're not gonna be together like this. You're gonna choose and choose. So when you're doing that, what I would do is I would click, check, test it, and then test the other one. Okay? So they're not gonna be together like this, so you're gonna have a little bit of a harder time figuring out what two combinations to use. What I would do is I would click on the first one and the first one and see if and do the proportion. If it doesn't work, then click on another one and see. So that is gonna take you time. Questions? Okay. So the answer was that guy. I already selected it. I'm done with that one. Draw a line. Number 3 is for homework. You will do it by yourself. Why? Because that's from the first 6 weeks. So you're gonna draw a line like I did it. There's number 3. Just draw a line, and you're gonna do that for homework. Why are you gonna do that one by yourself? Because all you're doing is you're going from percent to what?
Decimal.
Decimal. So let's pretend I forgot how to go from percent to decimal. Go to your notes journal and go look for that note. Oh, but I was real messy with my notes journal. Well, go to the YouTube channel and go look at first 6 weeks, part A, part B review. Remember that one? And go play it. And go look for how to go from percent to what? Decimal. You all should know, I hope. But if you don't know, go to the notes journal. Trust me, in the notes journal, I talked about it on page 5. On page 5, 6, 7, all those, they mention how to go from percent to decimal. Especially page 7 on your notes journal. Okay? But if not, you can watch the video. If you still don't know, you can Google it. And check how do you change from percent to decimal, and somebody will probably come up with something. Okay? Go home and do that one. Are you gonna get a question like this? Yes, you are. If not, why would I review that? We still need to remember how to go from percent to decimal. Okay? That's question number 3. You're on your own on that one. Tomorrow I'll go over it. Question number 4. Same thing. I'm not gonna go over it right now. You're gonna go home and do it by yourself, but I'm gonna kind of guide you. So let me show you what I'm gonna put here. On question number 4, it says 3 in 5. Well, 3 in 5 is the same thing as 3 over 5. And this is a fraction. Yes? This is question number 4. So they gave me a fraction, but my choices are what? Decimals. Well, there's one fraction only, but you could already tell that's pretty bad, right? Okay. How do I change a fraction to decimal? Good job. That's why I don't want to go over it, because you should know how to do that. So, like Emiliano said, bottom out, and you'll find your answer, trust me. Okay? Questions with number 4. So how many questions do you have for homework so far? 2. And very easy questions. They should not take you long. So, if you want to skip maybe like 2 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Just do 4 lines, 5 lines, or somewhere else. You don't need that much space. It's gonna be an easy bottom out. Those kids with a calculator. So when you bottom out, here's how you do. Let's say you had the fraction 3/8. Who's on the top? 3. So you're gonna punch in 3. Then the fraction bar, that's your division. And then 8, that's the bottom one. And then equal, there's your decimal. That's not the one that I was doing, guys. I made up another one. Let me do another one. Let's say the fraction is 1/4. Who's at the top? So you're gonna put 1. Fraction bar is who? Divide. And what's on the bottom? 4. Enter. That's the decimal point 25. That's the kid with a calculator. The kid without the calculator, you're gonna go to the side and bottom out. The 3 goes inside, the 5 goes outside, decimal, add zeros, and keep on adding zeros until you get a decimal, right? Until you get to money. Question with 4? Okay, good. Number 5. Paul has 3 math teachers in 6th grade. There are 168 girls and 100, for every 192 boys. Which ratio could represent the number of girls to the number of boys in each period? Select all the answers that are correct. What word do they mention there that's so important? Ratio. Rápido, voy a ver que they're talking about, this is number 5. They're talking about ratio again. And what does Mr. Rivera wants when they're talking about ratio? He wants a proportion. What is a proportion? 2 ratios that are what? The same, that they're equal. You can't forget that. As soon as they talk about ratio, boom, I'm going to do this quickly. Now, where am I going to get the first one? From the story. When anybody read the story, they said that for every girl, there's what? Boys. So they mentioned the word girls first. So guess what? This time girls goes on the top and boys goes on the bottom. How many girls are they?
100.
Thank you. And how many boys were they? 192. Okay? I don't know if those are the numbers, I just made them up, so don't think that those are the true numbers for both. I don't know. Should I do you remember this? Which one of the two? 'Cause, like, I mean, it's not the always done, right? Okay, yes. Okay, just making sure. Thank you. Go to the front, sir. You're not in trouble or anything, they just want to talk to you. Okay, so there's the girls, there's the boys, right? How do I find the other two? The choices. I mean, take advantage of the choices, right? So let's go to the choices. We have 42 to 16. So there it is, 42 to 16. By the way, how did I know that girls went first? I forgot to talk about that. The question tells you, girls to boys. And in the question, they mentioned who first? Girls. That's how I know that the first number has to be the girls. Just so you know. So here, the first number has to be the girls because that's who they mentioned first. So guess who goes on top? Girls. So let's put the top 42 and the bottom what? 16. Now this is going to be a hassle because the numbers are not as small as the other ones, but ni modo. But let me start here. 192 times 42. I'm going to go to the side. 192 times 42. If you don't know how to multiply, but here's your chance to learn how to multiply. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. What's 2 times 2? 4. 2 times 9? 18. So I started with these two. Now I'm going with these two. 18. Carry the 1. 2 times 1? Eh? 2 plus 1? 2 times 1? 2 plus 1? 3. I'm done with the 2. All I did, I went with this guy, this guy, this guy. Now that I'm done with the 2, I cross it out and put a 0 because we're going to the tens place now. And you see that little 1 on the top? Scratch it off also so you won't use it again. Now we start again. What's 4 times 2? 4 times 2? 8. 4 times 9? 36. 4 times 1 plus 3? 7. Remember that if you're not a calculator kid, you should not be using the calculator, okay? Because you're not going to use it in the test. 8,064, is that what you all got?
Yes, sir.
So right here, I'm gonna put 8,064. The calculator kid was just gonna take care of business with a calculator. 192 times 42, 8,064. It matches what we did. Okay. They'll probably go faster because they don't have to be calculating like us, but too bad. That's just the way life is, right? Some of us qualify for things, some of us don't. 16 times 168. So I'm going to go to the side. This time I'm going to choose the other side over here where I have space. 168 times 16, and I'm going to start multiplying. Okay? So be smart with your spaces. Like I chose one side first, and I'm going to choose this side over here. 6 times 8. 6 times 8. 6 times 8.
48.
Thank you, 48. 6 times 6.
36.
36 plus 4 more. 37, 38, 39, 40. 6 times 1
6.
plus 4.
10.
10. I'm done with a 6. Scratch it off and put it what? 0. And you see those 4s? Get rid of them so you won't use them again. Here we go. 1 times 8.
8.
1 times 6.
6.
1 times 1.
1.
That one was easy.
That one's easy.
2,688. Were they proportional? Not proportional. So this cannot be the answer. I'm done with the first choice. I start again. 168 over 192. And this is girls. And this is boys. Give me the choices that they give me now.
14 to 14, 12.
14 to what?
12.
12. Here we go again. 192 times 14. I'm going to go to the side. 192 times 14. Here we go. 4 times 2.
8.
8. 4 times 9. 36. 4 times 1 plus 3. 7. I'm going faster because I don't want to run out of time. Cross it out and put a what? 0. If you know your times, cross out that 3 so you don't use it. If you know your timetable, you will go faster like I am. Okay? Learn them, guys. You're already in middle school. 1 times 2.
2.
2. 1 times 9.
9.
1 times 1.
9. 1.
1. 8. 8. 16. 2,688. If I'm wrong, let me know, but that's what I got, 2,688. Yes or no? 192 times 14. Those are the calculator. You can check us, please. 192 times 14. Then go to the other side. 12 times 168. 12 times 168. I guess I'll use this other side again. 168 times 12. 2 times 8.
16.
16. 2 times 6.
12.
Plus 1.
13.
2 times 1.
1.
Plus 1.
3.
3.
21.
You got a 0.
Cross it out. Put a 0. Cross out the 1 so you won't use them again. And here we go. We start again. 1 times 8.
8.
1 times 6.
6.
1 times 1.
1.
6. 11. 9. 10. 2016. Please check the calculator, kid, if I did not make a mistake on that one. 168 times 12, please. 2016. So guess what? These are not proportional, so that cannot be what's in the school in per period. There can be 14 to 12 because that's not the ratio that. So this is wrong too. Yes. Okay. Letter C. And that's why kids give up. They're like, no, there's mucho trabajo. Well, that's why you never score 100, guys, because those kids are the ones that they give up on us. That's not good. You can't give up. Okay. 168 over 192. Now 14 to 16, right? Is next. Now here's where being smart again. Like instead of working harder, work smarter. Didn't we already do 182 times 14 at one time?
Yes.
Where did we do it?
26, 88.
In choice what?
2.
Choice 2 right here, right?
Yes.
So just put it, you already did it, 2688. Didn't we do 16 times 168 also already?
Yes.
What choice?
One.
1. And what was it? 2088. Guess what? These are what? Proportional. So this can be one of the answers. Look what I said. Can be one of the answers because it says select all that are correct. So I found one. Now for homework, you have only 2 questions so far, 3 and 4, that are super easy. You're gonna go check the rest because trust me, if I tell you select all answers that are correct, there's not gonna be only one answer. There has to be at least another one or 2 more or who knows. Guys, whenever it says select all answers that are correct, you cannot just select one. It has to be more than one. That's why they say select all answers. Okay? If they would have said select the answer that's correct, that means that they only want one. When they use the word select all answers, that means that there's probably going to be 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, who knows? I'm going to be nice here and tell you already that there's only 2 in this question. So we already found one. You need to go check which is the other one from that by doing one proportional situation. Questions with that one?
No, sir.
So for homework you have, and don't submit. You're just gonna close it, and I can go in there and check what you're doing so far. When you get here tomorrow, we're gonna talk about question 3 and question 4 quickly, and then check what other one was the one, and then we're gonna start with the other stuff. Okay? Now let's talk about this one quickly. We're not gonna do it right now, but I just wanna make sure you understand something. Many kids think, double negative, right? But I'll tell you why it's not double negative yet. Because here's what? Pandas, parentheses, good job. So, my door right there, parentheses, when you were in elementary, they should have taught you that in math, order of operations, that's what it's called, order of operations. Parentheses always goes first. So even though you want to quickly jump and say, that's a double negative, I would first take care of this guy. Look, let me show you. Let me show you with a spotlight. And this video will be on the YouTube. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna finish off all the times through YouTube. So you want to get ahead? What we're gonna do tomorrow, I'm already gonna have it in YouTube by the end of the day. I'm hoping. Okay, so you can actually go and check out what's going on. It was working fine, and now it's not working. Okay, so here's what I was trying to tell the kids. Many of you might think that that's a double negative situation, which it is, but because of the order of operation, I need to take care of this whole thing first. Because parentheses goes first, so I'm gonna have to take care of that, and you know what? I also need to take care of this other guy.
But when they're both parentheses, you're the one that's supposed to.
On the left and then on the right, yes, good job. So, I will take care of the 5 minus 32 first, take care of that, get a rule. What rule do you think we're gonna use in that first one? Different. Once I'm done with that one, I'm gonna take care of this guy. And what are you gonna use there? Different also. And then both of them are gonna come down the answers, there's gonna be a minus, and we're gonna see what comes out next. Like there's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna be same or div, we'll find out tomorrow, okay? My point is this. I would not double negative this. Now, if the 4 was by himself, then it would be a double negative. But because there was an operation there of plus, I need to take care of that first. Take care of that first, and then we'll worry if there's gonna be a double negative or not. I don't know. We'll see. Questions? So do you have to do this one at home? No. I'm just trying to introduce it for tomorrow. Okay? Let me stop the recording for now.